Okay, so on the Eagles side, I feel like, especially on social media, a lot of people are trying to kind of downplay Jalen Hurts, saying, he's playing so well because of his team. How do you feel about that? Do you actually feel like Jalen Hurts is really good, or do you feel like his team just plays the biggest part in that? Because, people are going to go back and forth regardless.
Right. Well, listen, the team always plays a part. And as your quarterback, you better lift your team up. And A.J. Brown made some catches today. That one-hander, that wasn't anything that Jalen Hurts did. That was some things that he did, but that's part of football. That's part of football. So, yeah, I like that he lifts his guys up, man, and put them up. People have an issue with it. It's playing quarterback is not just about dropping back anymore and throwing for 300, 400, 500 yards. We've skirted that now. That's gone. The man has to play quarterback the way he plays it. And some of those throws that you see him throw, he's not going to have the arm of a Joe Burrow. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that arm. But Joe Burrow doesn't have the things that he has, his assets too. And they're great assets put in the concept of what they're doing. Those read options, if he puts that ball in that running back, you got to look at that mix and see if he's handing that ball off or see if he's taking out and running around. And when you wasting your time looking, he done pulled it out and he done threw. So, yeah, he doesn't have to thread a needle because you're watching the ball. And you see what I mean? It's great for his system. So we gotta move past wanting people to play the game like we want people to play the game, and let people play the game that's best for their skill set, their team, and them winning. And he is certainly doing that.
I don't think Jalen Hurts is playing any different than Russell Wilson used to play when he was at Seattle. He was surrounded with a lot of weapons, and he was just getting the job done. I don't know why it's so different when it comes to Jalen Hurts, because he's doing the exact same thing. He's running the ball. He's passing it when it's necessary. He's just playing smart, and he's not getting in the way of his team. Sometimes you're loaded with so much talent that you get in the way of the success of the team, trying to prove you can play, when really, to be a champion on this team, we just need you to do X, Y, and Z. And he's playing his part to the T. So I hate when I hear quarterbacks that didn't win say, oh, he's just a game manager. No, he's a championship quarterback. And sometimes to win on a team, you got to take a lesser role. it doesn't mean that you're not capable. I'm quite sure there's people that we sat down with.
Different role. It's a different role.
Yeah,
a different role. It's a lesser role because it's not a lesser role.
Yeah.
It's just a different role.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He's not going to be Tom Brady. And trust me, if Tom Brady can run like him, he would.
Yeah.
He would run too. That's the part that always trips me out. You think Peyton Manning wishes he could run. But we want to see quarterbacks like that. And it's not real. And it's not today's game because them jokers on the end. Michael Parsons runs a 4.3. You think you can you can't get them old white guys just sitting back there anymore. They're going to get killed. They'll get killed now. The game has changed. Everybody has to be able to move.
And that title town mentality is necessary to be on a championship team. You have to be able to pick your role, not even a lesser role like you said, but a different role. Because some people that don't take that role, they end up being the superstars but never get a ring, right? Because they wasn't willing to do what was necessary. They had a confetti falling on them, but that's their choice.
Right, trying to throw the ball in the end zone so you can get the credit. That's what they kind of accused Aaron Rodgers of a couple of times. Or you could have dumped that ball off right there, or you could have handed it off, but you wanted to get the credit, and now you didn't get the championship, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. No, I think Mace hit the nail on the head, is that you do what you got to do to make your team win.
Yeah.
I don't need 500 yards from you passing. I don't need you to do anything outside of what you're doing to help us win. Jalen Hurts won 2 Super Bowls. He lost one and won one, right?
Yeah.
How long he been in the league? 4 years? 5 years?
Right.
Half his career, he been in the Super Bowl.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he's doing what Mace, like I said, I can't even add on more to what Mace said. It's the same thing, like, for instance, right, and I'm just using a basketball terminology. Your Golden State Warriors, you get Kevin Durant, everybody's game is dumbing down.
Yeah.
That's just that. We have Kevin Durant now, and even Kevin Durant, he had to dumb his game down. And I don't mean it in a IQ form.
A different role.
I need it for everybody to be on pace for us. What do we have to do to win the championship? We may not need Kevin Durant to score 41 points. We don't need 50 points from Steph Curry. You get us 22. Draymond, you get us the 14 rebounds. I may only need 11 points tonight. But you knew who was going to win the championship because everybody played their part. And I think that you're 100% Mason, even though I don't really like agreeing with you much. But I just think that everybody plays their position on Philadelphia. You even look at Saquon Barkley, he hasn't had a breakout game this season, but he's doing what he needs necessary for them to win. 22 carries, 88 yards. This isn't how Saquon started last year. But who knows? He's still got a breakout game. But fuck that. If they win, they win. And that's what matters.
Sure. Okay. The Cowboys had a 40-37 overtime win against the Giants. Mike, how did you feel about the Cowboys' performance?
It's so funny because I was happy with the victory. But man, that peak and valley I had to ride, those going up, and I said last week, this week will tell me a great deal.
You had to ride.
Up and down.
Peak valley. Crazy.
All right. Okay, listen, what I mean by all of that, I was happy with the victory. Funny, I left game one. They lost to the Eagles. Like, man, I felt good about a loss. I kind of felt bad about this victory. Now, I don't know if I do know why. First of all, you let Russell Wilson throw for 2,000 yards, and he threw all 2,000 right down the seam. It was like they had a wall where the defense couldn't go down the seam and stop him or something. I don't know what it was, and it blew my mind because Russell Wilson hadn't played like that since he was winning Super Bowls. So you're saying, and then I thought, okay, maybe it's just DeRon Bland's not playing, and but some of those plays were made on Trevon Diggs. And then you see what Michael Parsons not being there, the kind of time that Russell Wilson had to make all of those plays. But in the end, they did find a way to win that game. And it's coach's first win. So I want to congratulate him, Coach Schottenheimer, on getting his first win. And it was a fight. It was a fight. So I got to take out, okay, you get the victory, and it was a fight. There's great things you can learn in that as we move forward and get ready for week 3. But yeah, you got to be happy with victory number 1 for Coach Schottenheimer. I don't care about y'all. All of this, whatever y'all about to say.
You was dissing Coach Schottenheimer when they hired him. You're like, who is this coach? Yo, why would we hire you in Schottenheimer? Yeah, I'm just saying, last year when you hired him, you was dissing Coach Schottenheimer. I don't even know how to say the nigga name.
Coach Schottenheimer.
Yeah, you was dissing him and you was mad about the hire. Now you're congratulating him. You cool with the nigga?
No, I am. I talked with him. I have met with him. I have chatted with him. And so we smoothed over some things. I like his approach. I really do like his approach. I like that he even called me in to come have those conversations. I really do. You know what I mean? Because it talks about wanting to bring people around and not make it so much where we're competing, but stacking on one another. So I do like that approach because he's pulling yesterday in and saying this is the standard. We don't want this to hover over you guys, but we want this to be the standard. So I like how
the Cowboys got a standard, Mike.
Yeah, they got a standard. I said it a long time ago.
What's the standard, Mike? Because I don't know the standard.
What do you mean, what's the standard? The standard is what Drew Pearson did, what I did. What do you mean?
Oh, okay.
So we're trying to get to the standard.
Mike, they ain't never been at that standard since y'all left there, Mike.
Yeah, you look like y'all about to go in that kind of a spell. So I don't know why you're on me right now. You better figure out your own thing. You're about to hit that same kind of spell right now. That's what you look like.
I know you ain't talking about
exactly.
Mike, what
we got a victory today. I'm gonna take it. It wasn't like I wanted it, but I gotta take them, boy. This is NFL. You gotta take those victories, man.
Yeah, I would say, starting off, we got to start with Russ. Russ was balling,
Russ was cooking, man.
But I think if you get 450 yards and you lose, this is exactly what we're talking about. You got to know what's necessary for you to win. Sometimes it may not be for you to get 450. You might have to modify that and put that energy somewhere else so the team can win. Now, when you look at Dallas, I thought you was going to bring up CeeDee Lamb. Did you have a conversation with him?
CeeDee played. He played well, put over 112 yards.
You pull him to the side? You talked to him?
Well, listen, CeeDee, when I saw what he did, you guys saw him talking about, man, I dreamed about those moments, man. Yeah, that hurts me more than anything. I really felt that. Could you imagine, dude, every day you lay head to pillow, that's the play you want to make. Mm-hmm. You want to make that on opening night in front of the world. Yeah, that's so I knew his pain was great, and he showed up. The big thing today was to make sure you got George Pickens involved. Mm-hmm. And George Pickens put up like 69 yards, 69 yards, and then he got that touchdown in the end, so he'll feel like, man, I'm here. I'm a part of this team. I thought that was big going forward.
Yeah, and another one was Ferguson. He played pretty decent, and I don't know how to look at Dak Prescott because he's always right there, like always playing almost good enough but not quite elite, What would you say to that?
You're right in this sense. When you think about this game, and even all the games we watched today, these games always come down to this little play, these little few plays in the fourth quarter. And the great ones tend to make those plays. And you can have great numbers, great stats, great games won. But until you make those plays, you can't get in that greatest conversation. Because those are the plays that get you in the Super Bowl. And Dak hasn't made those plays. I agree with you that he hasn't made those plays. And as a matter of fact, it has gone the other way. Remember the 49ers, we didn't get the ball snapped in that crucial moment. You even had one the fourth down, yesterday, when they snapped the ball late, when they went for it on fourth down and then they got the delay of game. You gotta be able to make the plays late to be called the greatest. And yeah, that's been absent from his set.
Okay,
I disagree with both of y'all. First of all, every yard that Russell Wilson threw was needed. Every yard of that 450 yards was needed. That shit was a shootout. So I agree with you last segment.
6 lead changes.
Yeah, fair. In the fourth quarter. I agree with you last segment when you said some people got to manage the game and you don't necessarily need that. Those 450 yards was needed because the Cowboys was coming down scoring. They would go down score. He would go back and score. Shout out to Malik Neighbors. That nigga came up and did his fucking thing. Definitely did his thing. And I want to give Russell Wilson a shout out because you can start with me. He was playing with your name, of course. If you wanted to tell me shut the fuck up, you could DM me. But I'm going to take full accountability that I was the first one last week playing with Russell Wilson's name, talking about, I don't know if he had a good game since Sierra. He been with her as he won the Super Bowl since he been with her. Niggas now, don't get me wrong, Giants fan, Nick and all y'all niggas, I don't know, Jackson Dart might need to play all week.
Yeah.
Niggas saying that Russell Wilson was 3 seconds from losing his job. I think this game solidified him for at least 3-4 weeks after what he performed yesterday. Now listen, man, you can sit here and say that the Giants lost the game. And they did. But it was not Russell Wilson's fault. Now, overtime is Russell Wilson's fault. He threw an ill-advised interception. But what the fuck is the Giants secondary is the worst secondary in all of football at any level. Junior high school, elementary, high school, college, arena football. Is no secondary worse in any football than the Giants, my nigga. I posted that shit on Twitter, on my Instagram, that the Giants defense just do not like Russell Wilson. They can't like the nigga. The nigga goes down, you go down and get a fucking touchdown, and I remember the time like a minute 20 left. Was it?
Yeah.
A minute 20, something like that? I'm talking about after Russell Wilson threw the ball to Malik Neighbors and they go up by 3 points. How much time was left on the clock? A minute and some change? Stat, tell me, because it wasn't more than 2 minutes. It might not have been a minute.
No, it was under.
Yeah, it was under.
It might have been under a minute. How are you going to let Dak Prescott go down and get you a field goal right now? Don't get it fucked up. It was 64-yard field goal.
Right.
It's crazy. It was crazy.
What, 40? It was 49 to win the game, right?
No, I'm talking about before
overtime. You're talking about overtime.
It's 2 minutes, 9 seconds.
You're right. It's 64. Right. That was 64.
So you let them get down the field to get to. Now I'm not acting like everybody makes 64-yard field goals, but the fact that y'all can't even stop them to even get in field goal range. If you nice nigga, make a 78-yard field goal. We not gonna get you in range.
Yeah.
That's first and foremost. So I want to give Russell Wilson a shout out. I know in overtime you threw that interception, which made them go back and win, which was ill-advised, but you've been slinging the ball, the football really good the whole day, so I'm not going to discredit. I said pause, murder. So I don't want to discredit him. I think he had a fabulous game, even though a lot of people are mad at him about the interception. Now I want to go back to Dak Prescott because y'all are both correct on he's missing them big moments in them games, and that's what's eluding him. But the first 2 weeks of this season, Dak's been looking fucking good. And I can't count.
He's Tony Romo.
I'm not saying he isn't, but I'm saying I'm just going off the season. I agree with you in the past of what he's going off with. But I would love to know how many drop passes it's been. It's been several drop passes. I want to almost say it's been double digits in drop passes in 2 weeks. He putting the ball in niggas' hands, pause, and then niggas is dropping it. What do you want him to do? And I'm not the biggest Dak Prescott fan in the world. I'm not going to say and act like I'm a fan of his like I am Josh Allen or Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes. But the fact that he's balling this good the first 2 weeks, I was very impressed last week. I was very impressed yesterday. I was like, yo, I can't really hate on him as much as I want because I don't got no problem spewing cowboy hate. You know what I'm saying? But he looked really good and niggas is dropping passes. CD, like you said, CD Lamb sitting there talking about just the shit I dream about. Well, wake the fuck up and catch the ball, nigga.
Get on, man.
Come on, my
Man,
nigga.
CD had 112 out there today,
Listen,
man.
he ain't have more than Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors had 167.
Yeah, he about to be the
then
number
Wendell
2.
Robinson had 142 yards. The Giants look good. That defense look suspect. And I was waiting to come in here today because, like I was telling niggas murder, you lost. And I was going to do the gritty across this shit on because our quarterback got hurt and we still won.
Right.
But Mike saved the day for the panel up here that everybody steamed it.
Get us in there. Get us
Well,
in
y'all,
there.
that is all the time that we have for today. Mike, it was
That's
a
it.
pleasure
Mike,
to
thank you so
Mike,
much,
thank you,
man.
man.
We really
Man.
appreciate you.
Wait, let me just say this before I go too now. The Cowboys got better because we did sign Jadeveon Clowney yesterday. I want y'all to know that. I got to throw that on in there. I know I was kind of humming, but on the because if he give us anything that Michael Parsons took out the door, I'm telling you.
God,
What
but
we
that-
needed, what the Cowboys needed now, what the Cowboys needed was to get some more pressure on the quarterback. And I don't know what he's been doing, but he can help us get there. So we just had to put that.
Hey, yo, listen, first of
Okay,
all,
we can say
no
goodbye
disrespect. Clowney was good 102 years ago. He was a free agent. That's how you got the nigga. Nobody signed him. Y'all like, yo, what Clowney doing? Where that nigga at?
But you gonna get
He ain't
7
doing
8.
nothing.
You can go get 7 8 sacks. Clowney gets he usually what he does, he just wanna dip in, get him something and get out. Like he doesn't want to go through the whole process. Every team, he'll come in, he'll sign, because sacks is so valuable. They'll give him 8, 9, 10 million a year, and he'll give him 8 or 9 sacks, but he wants to come in after week 1. He doesn't want to go through training camp. I knew something was when one time I heard him say, yeah, my mom and my lady told me to get up and go work out. I said, ooh.
Yo, murder.
If they gonna tell you to get up and go work out, then you got some
I was
self-motivation.
a Clowney fan years ago. I remember him.
He's a freak of talent now.
Listen, I remember him in college. They made him sit down. They said, "Nah, you're gonna get hurt. You're gonna be the number 1 pick
Right.
in NFL. Listen,
Freak,
you don't
man.
even need to play." But if murder, I'm asking you, man. If he wasn't signed at the beginning of the season, Mike, I'm not gonna argue with Mike because Mike know better than me. Talking about he don't want to go through training.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's what they do. That's what he does.
I'm not saying
he done
he don't.
stacked some money now.
Well, I'm saying is this murder. It sound like niggas say, yo, find the nigga.
Nigga was
fuck
at
is
the
he doing?
White House. Mike.
Yeah,
Mike was at the White
I hope
House.
he comes in there and play like them jokers that hung out at the White House. I hope he does do that. I hope he does do that. Yeah, it'd be good.
Well, again, Mike, it was a pleasure to have you. You've been
Yeah,
talking
I
because you
appreciate
won,
it.
so I know you're real happy, and I love that for you. And we're so glad that you were able to come in studio.
man.
Hopefully
Yeah, for
more
real, Mike.
this will happen.
We gonna
for
do
sure.
this.
Back more, man.
Yeah.
We will. I just got Miller spot out here. I ain't to tell everybody that, but I guess I just did.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying. We'll be around. Me and my assistant. You know, we'll be around. Me and my
Amazing.
sister will be working. You know.
love it.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for watching, and as always, it is what it is.
What you want, nigga? Everything, nigga, super size. 2 big necks. Like when they doing them 2 for 5.
Dame, happy to have you back on the platform, bro.
I'm happy to have T. It's good to be here. I haven't seen you in a while. Actually, it's been about a month? You was at the ranch. Yeah, that was about 2 months ago, right? Yeah, a lot's happened since I last spoke to you, but it hasn't been that long, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, it's been a little bit over a minute or so. But yo, your teeth, man, they look real good, man. They did a real good job, man.
Yeah, I had no choice, you know. All the implants in my mouth broke and they had to take them out. And then they had to put new bone. And because the new bone Most dentists, the way they were doing it, didn't want to put any denture or anything. My option was to walk around with no teeth for 6 months, and I was like, I can't do that, not no teeth. You know, it's like if you could imagine not having teeth, in a lot of the way that you promote your family office is by talking, and I couldn't do any of that with no teeth. It just wasn't the proper reflection of my family office. But I'm also knowing that I'm gonna walk around for, they wanted 6 months, but whatever it was, the first 2 weeks, I can't even eat. You know what it is to not have no top teeth at all? And it's not, and again, it's not because of money. It's not because of age, they just broke. But the thing is, you know, because my dentist, Dr. Apper, he was talking to me, because I had to go to another dentist that put me to another surgeon, and this dentist, pause, Dr. Mack, made the denture a special one that I could wear over the gums and put the diamonds in it. Try to get like a specially made denture. But to get to the denture, I couldn't eat. Pause. I still really can't. You know? Because I have no top teeth and everything was healing. And it's very challenging. And sometimes it's hard to know that you're gonna go through that and just do it, knowing that you're gonna be, out the game for so long. But I wanted to take care of everything at one time. I don't like to do a little pain here, pause, a little pain there. I like to just knock it all out, heal up, and get going. Rip the Band-Aid. So for a while, because I get floaters in my eye, I'm diabetic. And all diabetics, not all, but 1 out of 6 could definitely relate. You get floaters in your eye and the blood it's like having veins all over. It looks like, blood just floating around, and it takes, because of this gel in everyone's eye, everyone has it, it takes a while for it to dissipate. So it just floats around in your eye. Pause. I had blood in my eye for like 2 years, and it keeps happening. And in between that, I had to get shots in my eye. The shots don't really hurt, you don't feel it, but the concept sucks. So the only way to just get that to stop happening was to eventually move the fluid. But then I couldn't fly for 3 weeks, and just, a lot of stuff, anesthesia. So I was like, I'll just get it all done at one time. I'll file. And then, get ready for the big, everything that's about to happen, that you're about to witness. By now, you might have already witnessed some of it, but trust me, it's not gonna stop. You like the diamond?
Yeah, it's fire. I like it.
Compliments of Dr. Mack. He's in Tampa. I gotta give him his props. He did it on the cuff, but he made real good teeth. Not teeth, good denture. It's a temporary solution, but it's better than not having any teeth at all for 6 months. I wouldn't be able to talk like this. So I have to relearn how to talk, because I'm used to clenching my teeth and pause. Once you put the glue on, you can't take them off for the day. But when I don't go out, I don't have them shits in at all. But a denture, I never really had a denture before. It's like a whole mouthpiece over. It's a lot. So I don't really enjoy the feeling, but it's better than the feeling of no teeth. You know what I'm saying?
They did a real good job. But I want to ask you about some news that's going viral. You falling for bankrupt. Is there any truth to that?
It wasn't only viral. It was in People Magazine, page 6. I wanted it to be as publicized I wanted as much press about it as possible, because I want people to learn something about this. I want them to actually scrutinize. This is when I do want you in my business. Because number one, when you file, you got to tell them everything. And it's public record, so you got to give them every bill. You also have to tell them everyone that you're going to sue in the future. But all the people that you owe money to, they're not allowed to sue you anymore. I want you to remember that. They're not allowed to sue you for a certain period of time because there's nothing to collect. And this dude, Chris Brown, has literally, to me, what he does is he does this muddy waters. He muddies the waters a lot because he's a lawyer and he's intelligent. You're not going to take that from him. But I think he's dumb because he just wasted a lot of time, allegedly. I don't want to catch another lawsuit. Even though I can't get sued, I got PTSD, I think. But what was happening was he was going from state to state. Well, actually, I shot a movie, and I'm doing this short for equity. After I shot and edited the movie because of a disagreement, Muddy Waters, the disagreement was another movie that we started to shoot. He was paying the editor, so what he did was he paid the editor to send him all the footage, which isn't a problem, but I didn't have the movie done. He went and copyrighted it, and then I promoted it. But I was promoting my movie, so we tried to sue him for a copyright infringement. But the thing was, he put on the movie that I didn't direct it, He used all my music, all the shots, everything. Didn't change it. But he put Brian White and Josh Weber as the directors and said that I'm taking the movie, I'm putting their names on it, and you're not gonna get $1. So I was like, I'm gonna sue you. So I called my lawyers and told them, but they didn't really handle it. And then I started popping it on Instagram, and my friend Bootsy, my brother, said, I know some people that got robbed by them too. Now I'm gonna say allegedly because I don't want to get sued. And one of them was a child that worked that didn't get paid, and it was some of the people that were involved, but not Josh Weber. So I said, Josh Weber, y'all robbing kids, boo boo boo. Again, allegedly. And I posted it, so they sued me for a copyright infringement because I promoted the movie, and they sued me for defamation. They didn't win a lot of money for the defamation, but between Josh and him, it was about $800,000. But really, for what they went through, it was legal fees. Now what they did was they knew I was going through something with the child support, and I had 2 warrants in New York. The whole thing was shot in LA. But because before we left, the last trademarks or whatever, our business was set up in New York, they were able, and he had a apartment in New York, he didn't live in New York, they were able to do the lawsuit in New York, but they knew I couldn't show up to court because I had 2 warrants, so they thought I would default. What they also did, allegedly, was they got Claudia Jordan and Brian White, and they had a meeting. They tried to get Columbus short, but I gotta give Columbus his props. He was thorough. He allegedly, I'll say allegedly, but he was thorough for that part, because he called me. He said these guys had a call, and they said that they're gonna send new clearances, pay everybody money, and say that they directed it, and collectively they're going to say certain things. And so Claudia Jordan took the bait, and Brian White did. Me and Brian White, I got the text, allegedly, but I got the text. We went back and forth. I couldn't believe he did it because I treated them so well. And the thing about it is I take every second, because you know me, I take every second of that movie. I take every second of the making of the movie. Every second of the editing of the movie. That took me 2 years to fucking edit. A lot of work because it's my creative process. I have the editor come to my house and I edit with them. And Josh, I'll say allegedly, but he was my assistant director, my AD. But he's a white guy. And he just admired, from what I saw, me. He wanted to be me. And from observing me, you'll learn a lot of clever tricks. And it's that thing that everyone does. I understand how the devil was created. He hung out with God. He saw how God was God, thought he could be God, then tried to take God out, even though God taught him everything he knows. So I understand that because it happens all the time. But I think he was so envious of me. And I have footage of him doing everything stupid on the set, slowing us down, being a little inappropriate, allegedly, with women, my staff, interviews. I got so much footage of this, and I can show it. And Claudia came into the trial. I wasn't flying a bunch of witnesses to New York. Well, let me back up. So through the thing, I missed the depositions, and finally they were like, if you don't come in for this deposition, you're gonna get a warrant, or you get a default. And I think a warrant, probably. I think a default though. And I wasn't stepping in New York until I had the money, and I owed $1 million, so I paid it. But the thing is, when you have 2, but he didn't know that. If you have 2 court, if you have like a warrant in one court and a warrant in another, even if you pay it, they'll take you, they don't have to. Because what happened is I went to the first one, they were like, cool, you paid it. And then the cops were there. So when they called them and told them I was gonna be there, they had the homicide squad there. It was crazy. So they took me over to the Bronx. Bronx was like, he paid, let him go. But that person, Chris Brown, thought that I wasn't gonna be able to pay. And I think you've seen the deposition. Can you imagine somebody trying, because if I wouldn't have had the money, I would have went to jail and I wouldn't have came out. I would have probably had no bail till I paid it. I've seen that happen to a lot of people. So he really wanted me to go to jail. And then it backfired, and the next day I got to sit with this man in front of him. So I wanted to pause old school rules, but I can't, it's not legal. But I was hot. So you should see the deposition. He puts the deposition on TMZ. He does it, allegedly, because how else could it have got there? And I got it made the judge mad. But either way, Claudia Jordan, the trial comes up, Claudia Jordan shows up, and allegedly a lot of false testimony. But then also another project that's similar to that, E.W. Brooks, and I don't even feel like telling the whole story, but it was the same exact situation, copyright, I don't think it was a defamation, but whatever it was, and Chris Brown was also that person's lawyer. So now what happens is Claudia Jordan testifies, lies allegedly on this trial, and then all of a sudden she's starring in the movie for E.W. Brooks, and Chris Brown is the lawyer. And then we find out that allegedly that Josh was the one that called E.W. Brooks and said, do you want to give a law? So basically what it looks like is happening is, allegedly, is that Josh is going around telling people, I'll do a free lawsuit for you if you make shit up and you can win this much money, and collectively we can get a lot of money and we'll all work together. It doesn't sound legal to me. So I was like, let me let them play this all the way out. So, and then I start getting lawsuits all over the country, random stupid lawsuits, a lot. And all lawyers, Chris Brown's the lawyer for everyone. So what was happening was, because I had that judgment, I lost the case, $800,000, but collectively, they tried to sue me collectively for about a half a billion dollars. 500 million, 200 here, 100 here, 50 there. They only won 800,000 collectively. That's not even legal fees. But what he was doing was affecting the family office. So every time I would promote something for the family office, he would send a letter saying that I owe him money. And with big corporations, they don't play that. Once you get a legal letter, they just shut you down. And with my family office, it's all startup companies. So they're not making money. Every single dollar has to go to buying more things, making more content, just business, acquisitions. But at some point, because a regular business usually takes about 10 years to be profitable. But they usually have a loan. So the bottom line is I filed because I was going to pay the government, but when you owe $20 million, you can't pay $20 million from a job. You made the $20 million from selling a company. So the only way I'd have been able to pay that $20 million was to catch a lick. I had to start a company and sell one. So the government wasn't tripping because that's what I was trying to do. Because every dollar that I put into business and pay people, they're paying taxes on that money. So they getting their money, they wasn't bothering me. But this dude was messing with the family office and I can't have that. So that's why I filed, so I can make these announcements and he can't call Paramount or Simon Schuster and hit me with any more lawsuits. Because each one of these lawsuits costs at least, you know, 160,000, 200,000. Just every time he would file in another place, it would cost me a certain amount of money to fight it. Even if you win the motion, you still got to pay the lawyer, and he knew that. So I'm looking at everything, and in the lawsuit it says who might you sue? Every single person that was there, because I want to know, because that just doesn't sound legal. I said legal because it sounded, because it feels like it could be a RICO. I don't know, but I want to find out. So I'm doing everything I can to see if this is a RICO. And if it's not, I won't try it, but I just don't think that. It just looks like the state to state and all the repetitive stuff and all of the benefiting from it. Those sound like RICOs to me, you know, civil, allegedly. But they're on the list. So that's why I filed. Now let me ask you a question. If somebody gets a $150 million loan, do you consider them rich? So that means they owe 150, right?
Exactly. You got to pay that money back.
So what most companies do is they get loans for like $200 million. If any one of the people that you consider a billionaire has a $100 million loan that they haven't paid back, like, then to me, they got to work that off. It doesn't make them rich. It means you got a lot of money and a lot of work to do. And this is, to me, the more debt you have, the broker you are. But people look good spending other people's money, but they be broke because it's other people's money till they work it off. Is that logical to you?
Absolutely.
I have no debt. So if a billionaire has $150 million of debt and I have none, I got more money. I have no debt. Now this is what happens. And people wonder, and this is why I got out the music business. The only way to really, because that's how they keep controlling you, by giving you more money. The more money they give you, the more control they have over you. So somebody gives you $150 million, you have to do whatever they tell you to do until you work that off and you lose all your power. I don't want that debt. I don't care. You're not going to loan me $200 million to do a company that's probably not going to work out so that you could tell me what to do for a certain amount of years. That's what independence is. Real power is having your own money. not other people's money. And what I just did, I did for my family office with no one else's money. I don't have no debt. Now, the family office pays their taxes. And I'm not even allowed to talk about the family office. I signed the NDA without permission. But I think I know the owner, so I should be all right. I hope. But we paid, the family office might have just paid $500,000-$600,000 worth of taxes. They don't write about it when we pay when my family office pays taxes. They only would write about it if it didn't. We have a lawsuit with E.W. Brooks because allegedly she used a picture that Rocky took and put it on her book. But they won because we sued her for the copyright infringement. They said it was retaliatory, so we got sued for the legal fees. It was like 70 grand. We paid about 60 of that already, 50, maybe 40. We pay those judgments. My family office, now that pays its taxes. It pays its judgments. Me, I have no income. I work for free. So my dream was to do it for my family with no debt. That was my dream. And now I'm in it. I did it. And now I have no debt. The family office doesn't have any debt. And I think it's great. This is the first time since 2005 I haven't owed over $25 million. I don't have the pressure of making EBITDA, which is profit after taxes, so I could get a good multiple in an industry, to have to sell a company because I wouldn't be able to sell it for anything less than 40 or 60 so that I could be able to give them 20. I don't have to do that anymore. I could relax. I'm celebrating that I don't have to make that much money to pay nobody back no more. But I do wonder if I'm putting, like, the way I win my wars is I look at my enemy's perspective. So I'm like, allegedly, because every time I tell his name, I gotta say allegedly. I don't care. Chris Brown has to have spent in legal fees and all of that stuff in time, millions of dollars. And I don't see where it would yield. You realize